Welcome everybody to another episode of our COVID Crisis Comeback Challenge Sunday Alumni Mastermind Meeting. That's a lot of words, but that's what we are. We are a mastermind meeting, and I really appreciate you all being here tonight. We have quite a crew of people here from all over the place. We have people from Canada, New York, Minnesota, where else? Massachusetts, Maine, all kinds of places. So truly appreciate you all being here. I'm very excited about this topic. It was inspired by a conversation I was having with Johanna Carter, who continues to impress me with how she really embraces the use of the daily goal mastery journaling system, as most of you do, and how she has managed to understand the power of reconnecting with her why in the midst of some pretty sizable challenges that she has weathered through recently. So I thought that that was very inspiring to me. So I thought that we would make that the topic of tonight's discussion. And it reminded me of a airplane trip. It was on a flight, and a gentleman came onto the flight and sat next to me, and he happened to be an elder of the Latter-day Saints church, and he had just come back from a 2-year mission throughout Africa and some other countries as well. I would assume Africa and some parts of the Middle East, although that's pretty dangerous stuff. But he spent 2 years out in his mission, and I was quite interested to hear from him what was the most discussed topic with the people whose doors he knocked on and who he spoke to. And I was thinking, maybe it would be questions about, is there a God? Questions about what happens to us, after we die or before we live. And he said, it's funny you should ask that, because I was even surprised, he said, that most of the people were concerned about, is there really a purpose for us being here? Is there a purpose for us being born? Is there a purpose for us to go through all the things we go through in our lifetime? Is there a purpose that connects us with the higher forces of life and with each other? And I thought about that, and I said, wow, that is a powerful question. And to the extent that we spend time with it, can determine the focus that we have in our lives, our ability to move through difficult challenges, and our ability to stay focused and productive when things are spinning on around us. So I thought tonight we would make this our topic. And I entitled it, about making your purpose stronger than your fear, making your purpose stronger than your fear and your fatigue and your self-doubt. And I mentioned those three things because they are three things that stand in the way of us truly living the life we dream of living, truly overcoming the obstacles life puts in our way, and maintain a forward movement of progress and momentum. Now, let's look at fear for an example. Okay. A fear is a natural response by our mind, triggered by our memory, triggered by our brain, and our emotions get involved with that whole tornado. But fear is a natural response to something that could be interpreted as something that is a threat, something that can create pain. And our brain likes to move away from pain and move towards pleasure. And our mind has built patterns to cause us to avoid things we are afraid of. But we've all learned, in our personal development journey, and certainly in our journey with the Your 9 Steps program and our journey with the Daily Goal Mastery journaling system, we have learned that when we look at fear, on the other side of our greatest fear is our greatest opportunity for growth, strengthening, building confidence, building momentum, and living the kind of life that we are meant to live or we choose to live. So, how does purpose allow us to overcome fear? Well, when we truly are deeply connected and clear about what our purpose is, and when I say purpose, I mean, we talk about the what. What is it we want in this life? What is it we are dedicating ourselves to? What do we want to achieve? We all know about the what's, right? It's written all over light bulbs, 500 watts, 120 watts. We all know about the what's. But more powerful than the what's, and even more powerful than the how, because when we move our attention from the what, we automatically start focusing on the how. All right, I know what I want. I know who I want to be. I know what I want to achieve. I know what I'm dedicating myself to. Now, how do I do that? And we get involved with all of these processes of how. And there is a how. There is a manual for the how. If you talk to 200 people, there's 200 opinions about the how. But the what and the how alone are not going to be powerful enough to get you through when we start facing fear, self-doubt, and fatigue. Can you all hear me okay? Okay. Excellent. So it comes back to the power of our purpose, or as we like to call it, our why. Because without a strong, focused, integrated, congruent why, all of the wonderful what's we write down on paper, and all the wonderful plans of the how we work out and put on our vision boards and write in our journals, unless we are deeply connected to our why, we will oftentimes run out of gas, or our fear, our self-doubt, and our fatigue will cause us to stop way short of the finish line. So it's really important we connect strongly and deeply every day to our why. Okay. Now, in your daily goal mastery journal, right, you write down your goal, right? You start with a beautiful, inspiring quote, which is strategically there to raise your state of consciousness, raise your energy. And then you begin to look at what is your goal, what is the what is the how, but more importantly, what is the why? And this is really important. When we have a really, really strong connection to our why, that why is stronger than our fear. So for example, when I began the process of creating the Goal Mastery Journaling System and the Your 9 Steps program. 18 classes, 18 half workbooks, right? I often ran into writer's block. I often ran into doubt. I often ran into, is this really good enough? Is this really valuable enough? I started to doubt myself, but then I would stop and I would think about you. I would think about each and every one of you. And I would think about the people who would come in the future to the program. And I would think about my powerful, relentless desire to make a contribution to your life and to their life. And the more I focused on that, the more I visualized your faces, the more I visualized their faces, the more I looked into the future and saw the benefit of what I was bringing out and how it would impact your life, because I knew how it impacted mine. That gave me the energy and the fuel to push through the fear that video's not good enough. Yeah, the workbook isn't going to look as polished. The information might not be as profound as those beautiful, wonderful quotes people put on Facebook every day, you know. But my why was strong enough to say, I don't care about any of that. What I care about is I'm going to do my best to make a difference in these folks' lives the best I can. And even if it raises the quality of their life 5%, it's worth it then. Moving through the fear, my why to want to serve you and want to serve life is stronger than my fear of it not being good enough. And you know what? It can always be better. And that's why right now I'm in the process of teaching a live Goal Mastery Journaling class, and I'm recording it and I'm putting it in the portals. And you folks are going to be able to go back into your portals and watch these new weekly classes devoted to components of the daily Goal Mastery Journaling System. But because I've evolved and because the demands of these new students cause me to have to explain the information differently, it's coming out even better, more profound, more useful. So I think you're going to find, going back and watching these videos, these new videos, which you all will have free access to because you all purchased the Daily Goal Mastery Journaling course in the past and the 9 Steps program. You're going to see things taken to another level. And again, it was because my sense of purpose, right? My connection to the value of service. And you know, that has been the thing that has pulled me through my entire life and taken me through my greatest fears. From the time I was homeless, the time jobs didn't work out and money was tight, from the times I was working in really dangerous places nobody would really want to go to. But I had to, because my why was all about service. It was about serving the people in those faraway places. It was about serving my company and my fellow coworkers. It was about serving my family, my wife and my children. Right? That was my purpose. And that purpose pushed me beyond my fear of what could happen. Right? Or my fear of way back when, will I ever get a job? Will I ever have money? Will I ever be able to contribute? Would I ever be able to have a family? Right? All of those fears when things were going really, really bad. My sense of purpose, that I was here for a purpose, I was connected to a greater purpose, and my deepest values were about love, service, compassion, Even when a lot of that wasn't being shown to me, I understood it doesn't matter what's being shown to me or given to me. It's important for me to continue to double down on my sense of purpose, my values of love and service. Right? So I'd like for you to take a moment and just contemplate on this, right? What is your overriding purpose? What are the overriding values that drive every day to get up when you're sick and you're tired, right? To go beyond what you were able to do a minute ago, an hour ago, years, whatever it is. What is it that drives you? What is it that drives you to come here today when you could be doing so many other things? What is your purpose that is stronger than your fear, your fatigue, or your self-doubt? Let's take a moment and think about it and share with each other. Well, once you've answered the first question, second question is, can you give an example when your sense of purpose, your deep connection to your purpose, helped you overcome a time of fear, fatigue, or self-doubt? Can you think of an example? I know you all can, because you all have shown incredible character, strength, courage, compassion in so many ways in your lives. It's actually interesting that this group is a collection of people with deep purpose. There we go. Okay, we'll give another, and then we will start our sharing. It's interesting, in our language, when we make a decision and do something to it, and it may even be that the thing that we do may not be the most popular decision, and it may not be a decision that the people around us may approve of, but it was a decision we made because we were completely committed to it and wanted it more than the fear of the consequences. Did you do that when you knew that it was something that I didn't want you to do? And then we say, yeah, I did it on purpose. You all remember using that phrase? Yeah, I did it on purpose. Why did you do it? I did it on purpose. What we're saying is, I did it because my conviction was so strong that that's what I wanted. That's what I felt was the right thing to do, that I was willing to act on my purpose and willing to take the consequences. So let's start our share. Who would like to be the second person to share what their purpose was in the particular example they're going to give that caused them to move forward beyond their fear, that self-doubt, and fatigue? Who's our first volunteer? Just go ahead and unmute yourself and start sharing. All right, Claudette.
I'm thinking about a period in my life where I had to move from one job to another. Actually, it was a change of career. And I decided to go to acupuncture school. And so that was a lot of uncertainty. I didn't know if I would like it even. And so it was a big a change for me and a risk. And for 3 years I studied, and there was no job. So I lived with a very limited budget. And when I was in practice, even if I was sick, I never missed a day of work to serve my patients. So that's how I can answer this question.
Okay, thank you, Claudette. Who's next? Just to connect with what Claudette was talking about, and that's when we are in a position or an occupation that is all about service, and we are deeply connected to that purpose of serving someone else. It will often, that sense of purpose, that sense of commitment to our craft, our ability to help someone, allows us to do amazing things. Thank you. Let's see. Jocelyn, and then Robin, and then Randy. So Jocelyn.
Yes, to the first question, my purpose and value is to help reduce the suffering in the world and help people access freedom. Freedom is my main value, I would say. And I kind of know that helping others access spiritual freedom is a form of a key to God realization or God consciousness. So this is very, very important to me, and also helping people realize their dreams and to get fully realized as soul. Now, last year, I went through an incredible fatigue. Things just dropped on me from all sides at the same time, and I started doubting and fearing. The only thing that kept me going was the book I had been writing for 8 years. And I was doing a translation of that book and wanted to bring it to completion. So the only thing that was getting me out of the bed or the chair was to get back into completing that work. Now, I wanted to leave a legacy. I wanted to share my journey from fear to freedom, and what helped me do it, and that was strong enough. And I can see where that brought me after, but that was strong enough for me to get myself back up in a fairly, I'd say, short period, considering how big the hit was. And that's what kept me going, and now it's getting to another dimension, totally different dimension that I would never envision. Lately I read Viktor Frankl from the Holocaust, and he says that what the people who survived the Holocaust were the ones that had a purpose, whether it was to find a son somewhere that they left behind, to complete writing a book, or to get back to a manuscript that was destroyed when they were in prison, that were the one that survived. So it's how strong having a strong purpose can keep you going through very difficult times sometimes.
Thank you. Yeah, 3 things that happen when we have a strong sense of purpose. Number 1, we become more resilient, right? This resiliency is an extremely powerful survival factor, right? The ability to get up when you're knocked down, right? Because being a champion does not mean never getting knocked down. Being a champion is getting knocked down and having the strength, the resilience, and the determination to get right back up and get back into the fight, right? So when we connect to our strong sense of purpose, we develop superhuman resiliency. And that's something we want to continue to focus on and continue to develop, continue to feed, and continue to work with our resiliency, right? The second thing that happens when we connect to our sense of purpose, we develop resourcefulness, right? When we are really low on resources, what we rely on is our resourcefulness. And our sense of purpose unlocks limitless and boundless reservoirs of creativity and resourcefulness. The third thing that happens when we connect to our sense of purpose is readiness. So resiliency, resourcefulness, and readiness, right? That sense of being clear, that sense of being in the right mindset. We have used our resourcefulness to create opportunities, but then when the right opportunities show up, we are ready and we jump on them. And that's how our purpose drives us forward, because our purpose makes us ready. And we are ready to take rapid action. So remember those 3 things as we continue our discussion. Robin, you were next.
So there were 2 times. There have been several times throughout my history, but the overriding purpose of helping people for me through chiropractic care has had me go through multiple office scenarios, just wanting to improve my craft. I did a program that normally takes 4 years in a year and a half, to become a sports diplomat. and that was to serve people better. And one of my colleagues once said to me, so you spent a extra year and a half of your life and $20,000 so that people could come in less. And it was like, yes, you know, it was interesting to see their spin on it. And it was like, if I get people better faster, you know, that is my job. But this biggest hit with the change in the scenario, and so that I'm no longer practicing fully, has made me go back to what my overarching, and that's what it was so key that you said, the overriding definition of serving and connecting. I've been recently going back to that goal to see now how I recreate myself. So just knowing that there is the larger purpose is serving humanity lets me bounce back in and pivot.
Thank you, Robin. And you know, your experiences have inspired me. You know, working with you and working with Simmered and Jocelyn, and you've inspired me to create a new program called Evolved Health Caring. And it's to help people in the healthcare profession take another creative step forward to find new purpose and also new creative outlets to create programs, products, and services to better serve folks. And this is for practitioners who are currently involved and also retired practitioners who want to get back, you know, into finding a sense of purpose and utilize their skills and abilities and talents. So, you know, I wanted to thank you and Simmered and Jocelyn and, you know, for inspiring me to do that, because I feel it's very much needed. And you know, I'm obviously continuing to serve all populations of people, everyone here, but this next level of entrepreneurial evolving, you know, evolving as an entrepreneurial health caring professional, I think it'll be the next program for me, and then there will be others that follow that focus on other niches. But this is the focus for me for 2022. So thank you for having a hand in that.
Great. And I just want to share, I like to share what I discover, the benefits of like working with you as a coach, for if anybody is thinking about that. So we always put together an agenda beforehand, and then I always do a summary. And the summary of our last almost two years of coaching sessions together has really helped heal me through the pain and keep me focused. And I'm also getting ideas as I'm writing and reading what I've got, next steps. So, you know, 2 months or almost 3 months after a huge turmoil, you know, I've got some good grounds for moving forward. So there's so many benefits to working with you as a coach.
Well, thank you.
Yeah.
I appreciate that. Randy and then Marvin.
Okay, thanks, Mike.
Nice to have you with us, Randy.
Thank you, my friend. I appreciate it. I appreciate the opportunity to be here. So I guess I just on a few levels to respond to the question. One is that I feel that the purpose, just to state that, is that for me, the greatest purpose is that I'm a coach. I've taken on the niche of a personal empowerment coach. And really, a lot of the why for me, the purpose is that I want to give meaning to the suffering that I had growing up, my childhood experiences, traumas that I've been through. That wasn't a decision. It was like a drive. I mean, it felt just a part of who I am.
Yeah.
And helping other people and contributing to people has given meaning to that. And besides just the feeling from my heart of wanting to help people, as I'm imagining that many of us, or maybe all of us, share. And so two things that have pushed me or helps me to overcome my own resistance those times. One of them is that when I'm helping other people, I'm experiencing my own growth. So that resistance that comes up, I kind of look at as being part of the process of pushing past my own obstacles, and it gives me further gifts to help other people to push past their obstacles, because I think we all share a lot of things in common as human beings. But a really great one for me is that I was really privileged a long time ago to have to be in a process in a group that I was in, where we actually sat down, and it was a very moving and a very deep process in the middle of a week-long process that we were in, where we got to sit and write our own eulogy. We had passed, we sat by our site and all that, and it really had a profound effect on me. And a lot of times when I'm thinking about, like, I really just don't want to do that, I'm tired, or I'm scared, or I'm just having whatever the resistance may be, I will think forward. And I'll say, you know what, someday, and I hope it's not for a real long time from now, but someday I'm going to be at the end of my life, and I want to be able to look back and say, I did it. Because that would be the greatest grief for me, or the greatest success, which is really what I want. The way I look at it will be to be able to feel like I made a difference in the world. And I use that as a big motivating tool for myself, and it has a lot of feeling of truth to it. So,
I know that you are already making a difference, and you've made a difference for years in all the different groups that you've led and classes you've taught, and now in your coaching career. So thank you for being out there and facing the fatigue and the fears and the self-doubt, and pushing through that, because then you can be the example that you are to your clients. It's part of the authenticity that's needed to go through those things and make it through the other end, because your sense of purpose is that strong. That does more for a client, that does more for someone we are trying to help, than having all the most profound, beautiful quotes, be able to recite all the most wonderful books, give them all the most incredible advice. What carries forward with the greatest amount of weight and evidence and authenticity is the fact that you went through it. You went through your process, you went through your challenge, and you utilize the things that you're now passing on to other people. So thank you for that.
thank you, Michael.
Yeah, and keep doing the you that you do.
Thank you, my friend.
All right. Marvin.
20 years ago, when I moved to Ottawa from Montreal, I discovered what my ideal was. I discovered what my biggest why was. I was involved with this men's circle in Montreal that I wanted to bring with me to Ottawa. And when I got here, I made a commitment to myself to start a men's circle here in Ottawa. Well, not here, but where I was when I was in Ottawa, because I moved from Ottawa since. But and I called up. The challenge was I called up all the men who were originally in that circle, and none of them were interested, like here from Ottawa, and none of them were interested for one reason or another, in reopening or continuing their participation. And in spite of all the fear and the doubt and the whatever, I just enrolled a whole new group of men. And the satisfaction that came with watching their growth made me realize that my ideal is about connecting people together in love and in harmony, and also in health. And I've recently just changed several practices about how I share things, just to help impact that, to be able to contribute more and connect people more. So I deeply appreciate the 2 years I've spent with you, really refining all the training that I've had over the years. Thank you very much for that.
You're very welcome, and thank you for your patience and sticking with me. I don't know if I could stand myself for 2 years, but you guys have been amazing. And Marvin, the change and the growth and the things that you have done and are doing are incredibly impressive, and I'm grateful to be able to have the honor of witnessing that and contributing to that. So thank you for that, and thank you for all that will come in the future. And I'm glad that you are there as someone who can put people together. Samarit is another person who's really good at that, and she put together an entire class. So she was responsible for bringing in the folks to start this new Go Mastery Journaling program. And I want to invite all of you to consider making it part of your purpose to share this opportunity with folks to benefit from this program. And in addition to having my thanks, I am sharing 35% of every sale of the system with the people who bring the people to the program, and do it out of love and do it out of a desire to give someone else the same benefit they received. And I will be rewarding, people for bringing people to this very valuable group and very valuable system. And these are for people who don't know anything about me, don't know anything about what I do, what I've done in the past, what I believe, what I don't believe. They're completely brand new folks from brand new directions. And that is my goal. I'm fortunate there are a lot of people around the world that know me, but I really need to reach all of those people around the world who don't know me, so that I can share these very powerful things that we have developed over the last, almost 3 years now. But thank you, Marvin, in advance for anything you can do to share this, and all of you. Consider thinking about, if you receive any benefit at all from this program, to consider helping me put new classes together. Jocelyn, we meet again.
Yeah, that's right. It's going to be short. I can witness to what Marvin just said about his mission. It's thanks to him that I connected with Michael. And because I connected with Michael, and the incredible resources and professional qualities and human qualities he has, it helped me get into a new venture that I would have never dream of doing before I connected with him and his resources and the quality person that he is. So Marvin, thank you incredibly for have that inner sense of thinking of making a connection between me and Michael. I will always, always cherish that. And I agree, this is definitely your mission, Marvin. Now, another thing I want to say, I want to concur with Robin into our use of making this report before, because I do the same. And after doing it for a while, I realized, oh my God, every week where I clear some of what have been done and I see what's coming and left to do is like a spring cleaning, and it's accelerating the development, and it's accelerating the realization of the project. It has an incredible effect, which I didn't see at the beginning. It was more like a homework, and the homework is coming back again, but there's a purpose for it. And if you do it, there's a great benefit. So I want to concur with Robin, who seems to have understood that as well. And there's a key there. So it's a wonderful resource, Michael, that you bring there. But of course, it requires some work from us. And the third, I just want to say to Randy, it touched me, what you just said. And I can relate to the fact when you say you don't want to leave this life without knowing that you did it. And the same thing happened to me last year when I was in that position where I didn't fear anything of sickness or whatever. What I feared was that there was a possibility I would leave that life without having done it. And that I couldn't survive. I couldn't live with this idea. So I got back into the work and the purpose and everything. And so I really understand what you mean by just this phrase that says, I left and I did what I had promised to do before I came here as a soul. And it's accomplished this time. Maybe it's been several years where I had several lifetimes where I didn't do it, but this time I did do it, and it doesn't come easy. So it's good to know that we have, I always say that partner, because that's the way I feel tonight, that we're all together with a strong sense of purpose, and that we're helping one another get there without even knowing sometimes. So thank you so much, everyone, tonight to be there.
Thank you, Jocelyn.
You're welcome. And thank you, Michael. You're doing an incredible, beautiful job.
Thank you. I truly appreciate that. I wanted to make an observation and share a quick story today. One of May Beth's purposes in life is to recognize the power of every little thing somebody does and show gratitude for it in so many different ways, and touch the heart of those people in a most gentle, sweet, and very, very authentic way. Recently, I hired a young gentleman. He's in high school, and hired him to start mowing our lawn. And he mows the lawn next to us. And the person who was mowing my lawn previously became a little bit greedy and a little less concerned about, customer service. And so I saw this young man mowing the lawn next door, and I said, you know what? I'm going to talk to him because I'd rather support a high school kid who's trying to save money for college and, work hard. So last week he started, and this week he came over. I'm down in New York right now, cleaning up my mom's house, getting ready to put it on the market. And so young man came today to the house and to mow our lawn, and May Beth had 2 bottles of this naturally flavored water, fresh cookies, a wonderful little note. And he texted me and said, please thank Maybeth so much. It was so sweet of her, so kind of her, to leave the water and the cookies and the envelope with the money, and everything was right there for him. When he finished, he didn't have to go through any rigmarole, but there was the sense that he was truly loved and appreciated for what he was doing for us, and that we cared about him as a person, not just as someone doing work for us. And that to me is a clear example of Maybeth's purpose in life. And also, I really know that this is awakening in this young man to think about his purpose, think about why he does what he does, think about the importance of the quality of service, which he's shown a very real and sincere desire to give the best quality service. And he's also talked about doing more things for us, which when I get back, I'll discuss with him. But I just wanted to make, give that example that sometimes the quiet people who don't say much have an extremely strong sense of purpose and work quietly behind the scenes to open people's hearts, to show gratitude, to make them feel important and cared about. And this is a very important and powerful service that we all can use as examples for us as we live purposeful lives. There is no greater force to overcome your fear than a strong sense of purpose rooted in love. There is no greater force to overcome our self-doubt than a strong sense of purpose to serve and love for others, including ourselves, compassion for others, including ourselves. Right? There's no greater force to overcome the fatigue when you've been running that marathon and you're one lap away and you feel like your legs are rubber, your lungs feel like they're about to deflate, your heart feels like it's about to stop, and you don't think you can walk another inch. When we are deeply and firmly rooted in our why, in our purpose, and every breath we take, every step we take is done out of love and service, we will keep going. We will move through. We will have the resilience. We will have the resourcefulness. And we will have the readiness to act, and act rapidly and act purposefully and do whatever it takes, be whatever is needed in the moment in order to fulfill that purpose and that goal. It will be there. No matter how many times we fall, no matter how many times we face challenges, no matter how many times people laugh at us, it doesn't matter. When our why is strong, we are firm in our sense of purpose, and we believe in ourselves and love ourselves greater than the fear and the doubts that we have. There is nothing we cannot achieve. So, anyone else before we end for tonight? And if not, then I want to thank you all for being here. Time went by really quickly. Thank you for your patience with me tonight and not having internet and having to rely on one bar of cellular service on my phone. But, we had a purpose for being here, and it all worked out because we were resilient, resourceful, and we were ready. So keep being resilient, keep being resourceful, be ready to do what it takes. I love you all. I have incredible gratitude for having you in my life and for working together with you and serving you and serving others. So have a great night. Have a great week. And I look forward to seeing you again next time.